Hello and welcome to round one with Blue White Monument. Lost the die roll on the draw. I think this hand's fine. I don't have a blue source or a monument, but I do have Inspector, which if he's mono red is pretty good. If he's some sort of mid-range deck, I have plenty of time to draw into my blue sources. And let's see, we draw a Selfless Spirit. Nice. This is a pretty good curve out here. Playing a Thurban Inspector into a Spirit. Spirit is pretty much exactly the card I wanted to draw, other than a blue source or a monument, I suppose, because it gives me a protection for my Bygone Bishop. And we actually play Abbey out here. That's just, you want to leave one basic in your hand in case you draw Port Town, assuming you don't need it. Don't exactly know what my opponent is on, but I'm assuming that Selfless Spirit's going to be good against a white-green deck. I mean, he might have to use a Stasis Snare or Declaration if he has that, which is a good mana trade for me. It's possible he's playing a Monument deck as well. Like, it seems kind of weird to have a Chef at Dunes. It's possible he's playing some sort of horse deck, but he just missed a land drop, which is pretty great. So we're just going to play the Bishop, bash in, and we're in pretty good shape here because, you know, we're going to untap and just be super clue flooded, and we'll have an Avacyn pretty soon. I guess that's one advantage of Avacyn over Cloud Blazers. You just literally don't need a blue source. Looks like our opponent's just not going to cast a spell this game, which is, you know, I'll take it, but kind of unfortunate because I had a pretty solid opener. Oh, looks like he's playing. I've seen this deck before. I think it's one of those white-green Approach to Second Sun ramp deck. That's why he's got the desert, because he's playing. He's probably playing. I guess I should have cracked Clue first. He's probably playing. Oh, what's the card called? Put 2 lands into play and make 2/2s if you have a desert. Hour of Promise. But yeah, I'm just gonna play the Inspector, and it's pretty much just gonna be game. He's got a green land. I can't imagine he can come back into this game, but drew another Spirit, which is kind of nice. Ooh, a Monument. That's interesting. So I can go Monument Spirit, or I can just flash in the Avacyn. Like, what could he possibly do next turn not to die? Like, he's 1 mana off Descend, so there's no reason to play around that. I can't play Anissa's Renewal. I think there's no way he can beat an Avacyn, so let's just play the Avacyn. I can even, like, try to flip the Avacyn as well, potentially, which could kill zombies. Or I guess I just have 8 points in the air. So if he just goes Hour of Promise, like, I have that beat. He's got a Fortified Village. That's probably going to come into play tapped, yeah, because he hasn't been making land drops. And he just scoops. Alright, pretty clean win. I mean, Ramp is an interesting matchup, especially because he's got white for, like, Fumigate and stuff like that. So I think I want 4 negates. I don't know. I think I'd probably Dusk Dawn is too slow. It might kill something, but it also might just be a brick. And Stasis Snare is like, if he's got World Breaker, it is nice to exile the World Breaker, but also kind of awkward that it gets hit by World Breaker. I like Cast Out because I can actually, like, I can hit a Gift of Paradise, or I can cycle it, or I can just hit a World Breaker and an Ulamog, potentially. Wonder if I should sign him another Cast Out. Probably not. It's, like, pretty narrow, but it is kind of low cost. I am siding in a lot of instants. I wonder if Cloud Blazer is just too bad. It might be. I'm siding a lot of blue cards, so I don't hate, like, taking out some amount of blue cards as well. I think we're just going to go with 1 Cast Out. Like, I can go wide around a World Breaker, and he's not playing Kozak's return. So being able to kill a World Breaker on Ulamog is a little bit better, but I like Cloudblazer more if they don't have, like, I guess Fumigate makes Cloudblazer okay, depending on my board. I'm just going to submit this. Oh, the green-white ramp deck plays Quarantine Field. I remember Paul Dean played this deck at one of the GPs. So I actually very likely should have the cast out in my deck just because it's so good against Quarantine Field and I can cycle it. But I do have 4 negates, so it's like kind of hard for me to get that blown out by Quarantine Field. I mean, obviously, Spell Queller can't get it, but basic land would be nice. Perfect. Get that Inspector in. It's worth several points of damage because I'm going to be tapping out for a while. So drawing that second Plains let me not have to play Prairie Stream on turn 1. And playing against a ramp deck, like, I guess he could have a Druid of the Cow. Oh, he's got his own 3-man Inspector. It's actually reasonable because that lets him just block. And is reasonably gives him some counterplay to my Monument. So I might just play Prairie Stream here. Oh, if he sacks Clue, I'm definitely going to not play the Monument, though, because I want to be able to counter a Weirding Wood or whatever he may play. And if he plays nothing, like, I don't mind running out another Spell Queller. I have Avacyn for an eventual Fumigate, potentially. So I just drew a land, which makes this a little different because now I can go Monument in to hold up Avacyn, but as long as I have the Selfless Spirit, I'm not that afraid of Fumigate. So I think I'm just going to go for the Spell Queller and try to deny him mana. Because if he just doesn't get enough mana to, like, Hour of Promise and World Breaker and stuff, like, World Breaker is what I'm really scared of. Like, my hand doesn't line up that well against it, so I think I'm just going to go for the countering the ramp spells. It's going to be interesting what I should do next turn. Because I can play the Monument. If I draw a land, I have no reason to play the Monument, I don't think. Yeah, that's not going to happen. And this is basically just Time Walk plus, because I'm getting a creature in play as well. Spell Queller is pretty gross against ramp. What does he offer 1 mana? Another Inspector? That's basically a brick. I mean, he can sack the Clue, but does it really matter at this point? Hoping for a land. If I don't draw a land, then I might have to play the Monument. Draw a land. Okay. And I'm going to play the Abbey, I guess, in case I draw Port Town. And we're just bashing him for 4, and we have a Spell Queller again next turn. He might go for Hour of Promise this turn, but even if he does, I think flashing in Spell Queller is better than Monument, because the Monument, now that he's got 2 3-man Inspectors, like, before he starts casting huge spells, the Monument just isn't going to do anything, basically. And, like, he can play around the Spell Queller by not playing anything, but I'm still getting a Time Walk out of it. I really like having the Avacyns in this deck instead of Cloudblazers. I mean, obviously in this matchup it's much better, but like you can just play like a flash deck. You still can Monument people out, but in the games where you don't have a Monument, I feel like having Avacyn is much more powerful than having Cloudblazer. He's got a Stasis Snare maybe. Cast out. It's fine because we're kind of clearing the way for our Avacyn. He gets a Weirding Wood, which I couldn't have really played around that. He was going to get that no matter what. But I essentially have him on a 2-turn clock. Like, we're going to put him to 10 and then have 8 damage plus an Avacyn. He didn't actually see my Avacyn last game, which can help me out here. So he's at 10. Let's see what he does. Probably an Hour of Promise. Which is weirdly unfortunate because I'm like 1 point off lethal. Because I can play the Avacyn and sack my Selfless Spirit. But that's actually not lethal, unfortunately. So I could go for an upkeep kill by sacking my Selfless Spirit. Because he's got an Ulamog next turn anyway. Though, actually, I'm not afraid of Ulamog. Because I'm going to put him to... He's not going to be happy about this Avacyn. I'm going to put him to 2 life, and I'm going to have 3 flyers. So... So let's actually think this through. So, like... Putting him to 1 is bad. It kills all my guys. It kills his guys, too, which is pretty nice, because I can go Monument into Captain. But if he's got a Fumigate, that's just really bad. Yeah, if he's got a Fumigate, that's just terrible. So we just untap. We drew a Bygone Bish. That's kind of nice. That gives us the ability to refuel if somehow we don't kill him. Like, he's going to 2. If I go for the win, let's say he's got a Stasis Snare. He's going to have to snare the Avacyn, and then I'm still going to have 2 flyers, right? So yeah, this is just kind of brilliant. I think we just go Monument, Bygone Bishop, and sack myself a Spirit. Because can he Stasis Snare and Wardbreaker me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess if he's got another shrine, he could. But that's still not enough, I don't think. Because if he Stasis Snares the Avacyn... Okay, let's think about Stasis Snare plus Worldbreaker. So he plays another shrine from his hand. So he's got enough mana to Stasis Snare, or I guess a cast out. He doesn't have Stasis Snare for 4 mana. So that uses 1 land, 2 land, 3 lands. I guess no, he'd use the Weirding Wood, he'd use the Sanctum, he'd use the Scatter Growth. He plays Shrine and plays a Worldbreaker. Do I lose? So the cast out comes in, it kills the Avacyn. I don't have Selfless Spirit anymore. The Worldbreaker comes in, kills Monument. I still have 2 flyers, right? I still have 2 flyers, he's at 2, so yeah, we just crack. We just crack and we say, I'm pretty sure he has got no outs. The one scary thing that I didn't play around, but if he's got something like Life Goes On, like randomly in his deck, I could get just obliterated this game, but... So this trigger goes on the stack. He's got to kill it. Even if he does kill it, I've got multiple lethal flyers. And he's using the shrines. Oh, he's sacking Clue, so he's actually just DOB. I'm pretty sure he needed like some colorless spell I can't think of. Like a cast out into a Fumigate, but he just doesn't have the mana for that. He only has 7, so not 9. And we win the match. All right, that's a pretty easy matchup, it looks like. I mean, it didn't... In game 1, he didn't really do much, so it's kind of hard to say that, like, that was a legitimate win. But game 2, you know, he had, like, blocker into, like, ramp spell, into, like, cast out your guy, into Our Promise, and we just killed him. So, well won.